All right, and we're live. Hello, everybody. Um, got RJ with me. And hey, Woody, we see you there. Hey, guys, and if you haven't already, feel if you can, please like and share the thing so we can see if we can get some more friendly people in here. Um, yeah. So how are you doing tonight, RJ?
Man, it's a 3-day weekend for me, man. I am happy.
3 day weekend. What you had today off as well?
No, I have Monday off.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Monday's Labor Day. I should already know that, of course, because of course on this Monday, as I mentioned before, we're going to be doing an open panel night, in which in which I'm going to, of course, invite people on to hang out, talk, and just whatever niche topics come up. So, anyways, so we're just, again, we're just, anything you'd like to promote, RJ?
Oh, yes, there's something I want to promote. Uh, there is a new crowdfunded comic coming soon to an Indiegogo near you. It is called Out of Obscurity, and it is going to be an anthology of different public domain comic characters or animation characters that different writers are taking their new takes on. And
Okay.
I am bringing back none other than Captain Napkin Face. The Clock himself will be premiering in comics once more.
uh,
The
yes,
script is
we've
turned
been
in.
we've been reading some of his work, and we'll be reading another one of his pieces here, along with Black Eggs when we go through go through feature comics number 21, as well as um, yeah, public domain characters. I love it. Yeah, yeah, and YouTube and StreamYard are being screwy again.
Oh,
Ah, so ah. And I do thank people for the like and the share. Anyways, um, all right. So here's what's. I guess we got at least some people here. Woody, you, and me. And then Woody goes Captain Napkin Face, and he goes public domain characters. I love it. All right. So and as always, to those in the chat, if, anything cat as always, if anything cat, and same with you, RJ. Anything catches your interest, or want to comment on, or ask about, feel free to do so. It's part of what we do here, as well as we're going to be reading through it. And RJ, I'm sure you'll love doing the voices again.
I'm
Right?
going to do my best.
All right. So let's see now. So we got like three. Even though it says only two, but I think we have three people here. So I think we can go ahead and get started here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna first head over to Grand Comics database just to at take a quick peek at something from United Feature Syndicate. Um, that's it. As soon as I can okay that. All right. Let's go ahead and. Oh wait. Oh, when I do get to the point of when I bring the comic up, do you want me to send you the link via the private chat, RJ?
It'll work.
Yeah. Just so you'll have your own copy. You do great. You do great with voices, RJ. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So single series from United Features. So in April of 1939, here, of course, single series, which was which was an anthology. Well, not an anthology. It was more of a feature style comic that was done by United Features. Now, this concept, of course, Dell was the first one to do it with feature book, and then of course United Features with single series, and then I think more recently, I think another company, I can't remember off the top of my head here. Um, I think may have been Centaur was doing it with large feature book. Huh? Something up, RJ?
No, I didn't say anything.
You were going,
No, wasn't me.
Okay.
Huh.
That was kind of weird. I thought I heard something there, but anyway, so they were doing this thing where they actually were doing a monthly series. Um, they were doing kind of a monthly series here of where they were focusing on one character, but it'd be a different character. The concept was, of course, later adopted by DC with Showcase, where they would kind of like it was kind of like a feature style comic, even though they would use different characters each month. So here on sale date of April of 1939 here, the fifth issue of single series came into effect here. This particular book featured Fritzy Ritz with Phil Rumble. Now, RJ, you can remind me if I remember correctly. Fritzy Ritz was the aunt of another famous comic book character, was she not?
Yeah, she's Nancy's aunt, Ernie
Nancy.
Bushmiller's character.
Yeah, I think I read a story where they had actually been in an issue together. Or Nancy would, I believe, and Nancy would go on to have her own strip with her little buddy Sluggo, right?
Yep.
Nancy and
And then
Sluggo.
in the Nancy strip, Aunt Fritzy shows up a lot. She lives with her Aunt Fritzy.
Ah. Okay, so anyway, issue notes. No newsstand photograph shows this issue on. I think it's supposed to be on sale, not one sale, during April 1939, along with other comics known to have been released that month. So again, just as a reminder, most of the time the date you see on the cover is a cover date, but as RJ, you probably know this as well. Usually it goes on sale usually about a month or two prior to that date, prior to the cover date.
Yeah, it's frequently 3 months prior to that, but it's a periodical, so the date on the cover is sort of the best if sold by date on your milk. After that date was when grocery stores and retailers would say, "Yep, this is no good anymore," and they would return them. They would rip the cover off the page, and they would return the covers. And then they would throw the coverless comics out on the back stoop for the trash collector. You'll find a lot of old Golden Age comics without a cover on them because kids would know this. And they'd like, I don't care about it if I don't have the cover. I'm going to go get this comic book for free.
Oh yeah, why would they rip off the cover?
Because the cover is what got returned to the printer so that they could say, these did not sell. This was proof of unsold book. And it was cheaper to send 20 covers than it was to send 20 comics. And by tearing the covers off, they made sure that no one could resell them.
Yeah, but that's almost like throwing money away too, in a way, because
paper was cheap. Yeah. Remember, they were printing these things in the millions because they had to keep the presses running.
Yeah, back in this time period.
Yeah, so it cost a lot of money to stop the press and then roll it back up again.
Yeah. Fritzy Ritz with Phil Fumble, 64 pages in full color. So again, this is a comic that was, and as you can see there, 10 cents. That was the cover price. Again, this was a comic that was dedicated to one character, unlike most of the comics back then that were anthologies. RJ, is there anything more you'd like to say about this duo right here, Fritzy Ritz and Phil Fumble?
I don't know anything about Phil Fumble.
You know of that you want to share with everybody?
No, I don't know anything about Phil Fumble.
My guess is he might have been some kind of like love interest, or well, you look at them right there; they look like they're dancing.
Yeah.
On the cover there.
I don't even know if they were in the same strip or if this was just a cover for two different comics and they brought the characters together on the cover.
Well, it could be because it does say here Fritzy Rich with Phil Fumble, so it's possible. That's a possible thing. Anyway, so there we go with that one. There's not much more we can say about that because, as noted from the previous thing there, this is what they call skeleton data. Nothing more there than just what we read and saw. So, anyways, so let's go. Let's move on to our feature presentation. Let's see. You do great. Okay, we already mentioned that, and then kind of like sending the scalp of a Native American to get paid for killing one.
Yeah, kind of like that. You just got credit back on your next order.
Oh yeah. Also, and I said this to Woody already. I like the avatar there, the Woody Woodpecker avatar right there. That was now. I wish you guys had. Well, I know Woody kind of saw it last night, but wish you had a chance to see the at least this day in each history segment last night, RJ. Because speaking of Woody Woodpecker, the last of his animated shorts, Bye Bye Blackboard, was actually released on September 1st, 1972. So 50 years ago yesterday, the last Woody Woodpecker short was released. And shortly thereafter, Walter Lantz Productions had closed its doors. So I was hoping you would have seen that because I alluded to it on your stream earlier that night.
Remember that?
Walter Lantz Productions, the company that did Woody Woodpecker, they released their final animated short back on September 1st, 1972, 50 years ago from yesterday. And then shortly thereafter, they closed their doors. They shut down. So anyways, get ready to move on to the next portion of the thing here. I gotta find quality comics.
I've been reading so many of these, I'm kind of wondering if I've already read the one we're going to read tonight now.
Well, I know you were reading. I know you've been reading up or catching up on the clock's history and all that, but remember that wasn't the only story here. So feature, but I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, we will.
I guess I'll have you do the narrator voices, and then figure out who else to do as we run along here. So we're gonna, of course, go through the feature ones first. Black X and Clock, and go back through as time permits. So, I guess I'll do this first part as I always do. Feature comics, formerly feature funnies. But Nobby, I don't think this is the right way to press trousers. Yeah, I would say not. What would you say about that, RJ?
That guy's about to be in the hot seat.
Quite literally. Anyways, let me shrink this down a tad. We're already, we're all right. So, and then and I probably before, let me do this too, because I also said do this. Let's see, copy. And then, all right, no, not that. Here you go, RJ, coming to you in the private chat here for your. Wait, if you want to pull that up on a window yourself to where you can follow along more easily, or if you want to try to follow along on mine, that's cool
I
too.
got it.
All right. Let's see. What are you saying? The clock is a natural for Arkansas because we have so many ticks. Okay, that true, RJ?
We do have our share of them. Fortunately, they don't like me, so I never have to pick them off of me. But boy, we get them off the dog all the time.
Huh. Anyway, so as we said, Feature Comics, formerly Feature Funnies, starring Joe Palooka, Mickey Finn, Jane Arden, The Clock, and Lollapalooza, and also featuring the Bungles, Archie O'Toole, Toddy, Dixie Dugan, Gallant Knight, Espionage of Black Eggs, and Ned Brandt. So there we go. So there's your cast of characters, folks. Actually, I can keep it down at 125 until we actually get to the portion. It's a little, and there's of course, look at that, announcing the new Daisy Lone Scout, carbine.
You'll put your eye out, kid.
Daisy air rifles. Those were pretty popular back in the day here. I know.
Oh yeah, they're still popular. They're made here.
Oh, in Arkansas?
I drive by the Daisy Museum in Rogers, Arkansas, on a regular basis.
Well, maybe you can go in and tell them that you're seeing some of their old ads from the 30s.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we got Mickey, Finn, and Nippy.
Oh, that's Nippy. Okay. Wow.
Well, Nippy is up top there.
Yeah, so. That's not what I thought that said.
Oh. Was it something else that was maybe a little bit more...
Yeah, that I and that E blended together there, and I thought there was a base on the bottom of that I that turned it into an L.
Okay. I think I get where you're going.
I would not have expected that.
All right, here we go. Espionage, one of our first lead stories here. As I said, I'll let you do the narration. I'll try to do Black X here again, as I always do. Now, a couple of interesting little tidbits here before we kind of get started here. First off, this, I believe, will be Black X's last appearance in Feature Comics, as in the next issue, starting next month in on sale date of June of 1939. I discovered this. Smash Comics will be debuting, and Black X will be moving to Smash Comics, starting in on sale date June of 1939. So just a little tidbit. Also, the villain here, a little bit of a spoiler here. The villain here, Baron Bassel, will most likely, there's been some conjecture that he actually returns later on in the series here, but under a different name. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm going to go off camera here for a moment. So, RJ, do you want to do any more promoting for a moment?
Well, I will, because what I'm going to point out is that Will Irwin is the writer on this. But if you look at the writing on that signature, folks, you're going to recognize the handwriting very clearly. This was a pseudonym for Will Eisner, who created the Spirit. Now, why I bring that up, because the Clock is in this, and the Clock is wearing that black napkin face over his whole, it's a bad costume. Later on in the series, in his run, he does change that. He takes that black napkin off and he replaces it with a simple domino mask. Now, if you picture a guy in a blue suit with a fedora hat and a domino mask, what's the first thing you think of? The Spirit by Will Eisner. Well, Will Eisner said that the Spirit was based on an older Golden Age hero. And since he was working in the same comic as George Brenner, who do you think that Golden Age hero must have been? Because When you see the clock with his domino mask on, it's very clearly the spirit. What's changed? Bow tie goes to necktie. And we all know bow ties are cool. So, favorite skinwalker? Haven't been down to the ranch in a while. That'd be Skinwalker Ranch. But yeah, but Luke Skinwalker, yes, Woody, you're right. It's got to be Luke Skinwalker. Anakin Skinwalker was my favorite before he lost all his skin and he couldn't walk without the exoskeleton around him. Yeah, what is it about bad guys in monocles? Colonel Klink wore a monocle. The Monocle wore a monocle. Golden Age villain who wore a monocle and had shot laser beams out of it.
Yeah, the Monocle, who I believe was one of Hawkman's main rogues.
I couldn't remember if it was Hawkman or Starman, but yeah, he was definitely a Golden Age villain with a one-trick pony gimmick.
Yeah. Anyways, getting to the story now here. Let me just make sure that. Yeah, we need just so we can. All right, so Espionage by Will Irwin, and I know RJ was giving us a lot of good background information on Will Irwin / Will Eisner. So here we go. The U.S. government has been after you and your gang a long time, Baron Bassel. America has no place for your theories. I advise you to leave the country. That is when you untie yourself. Meanwhile, I'm taking these papers to Washington. You want to do Baron Bassel right there?
Sure. In a little while, the Baron manages to work his gag loose and calls frantically, "Help! Rucko! Confound you! Where are you? I'm locked in this room!"
There's a black cross on your cheek.
The Black X was here. Untie me, you fool! Hurry! Bah! He slipped through my fingers. This time he has enough evidence to hang us.
He'll never reach Washington alive. We'll put every agent to work.
And over the underworld grapevine goes the cry.
Get the Black X before he reaches Washington. Get the Black X, dead or alive. We've got to stop the Black X. Gonna do the guy in the red hat, the other red hat there in orange.
Black X is carrying a green leather case. Get him. On a busy street corner in downtown New York.
Toxie.
Right, Cap.
There's some narration right there.
Oh, sorry. As Black X enters the cab, two loiterers follow in another taxi down the street.
To the airport, driver.
Follow that cab. It's the Black X. Through the Holland Tunnel, across the speedway, they follow relentlessly. At last, on a lonely stretch of road, the pursuers close in. Okay, Pinky, you know what to do. Leave it to me.
Right, moving on to the next page there.
I'm waiting for you to turn the page.
It's kind of a fun script. What was that, RJ?
I'm waiting for you to turn the page, and I realized, oh, wait, that's me. I've got to hit the button.
Well, you can do that. You can do it for you, and then I do it for me. So
yeah,
do it for each other. Yeah.
I just forgot I wasn't watching online. I was actually watching here.
Uh-oh. We're being followed, driver. Slow down at the next turn. Here's your fare. Yes, sir. Thanks.
At the turn in the road, the cab slows down and Black X leaps nimbly out.
Leaps
A moment
nimbly
later,
out. That's kind of interesting, huh?
yeah, leaps out nimbly, but leaps nimbly out. I don't know. I would have put it after the other one, but or nimbly leaps out. That's how it had done it. Yeah, it does sound weird that way.
Yeah.
A moment later, the pursuers crash into the taxi, forcing it over to the side of the road.
Crash!
An instant later, the door opens. Stick him up. Black X is gone. Ah! He left the green case behind. At least we have that.
Open it.
It's empty! Hashtag star asterisk exclamation point. He slipped through our fingers again. Curse him. You want to read his letter? It's his text, really.
Oh. Sorry I couldn't meet you two boys. I'll see you in federal prison, Black X. I wasn't sure if I could read it or not. That's why.
I got you.
I guess I could.
At the New York airport, a lone figure hastens to catch an outgoing plane. It's Black X. Suddenly, 3 men spring from the shadows.
You want to do those voices?
Hold him! I got him! But X is not to be stopped. Leaving the 2 unconscious men, Black X runs for the plane.
Hope I can make it. Too late.
Oh no, it's too late. Back on the other side of the field, the gangsters recover. He got away.
No, he missed the plane. Hey, look, the green valise.
Empty.
You want to do that last one?
See you in federal prison, boys. Black X.
No.
Since it was cursing.
Well, that was already from before. Oh. Well, I'm talking about
another letter.
Well, I'll be. Well, I'll be. See you in federal prison, boys. Black X. It's a bit of a fun strip, isn't it?
It's definitely moving.
I can just see the cursor on my screen here. Okay.
1 hour later, at the Pennsylvania station. Hello, Mike. He's talking to you, man. Come down here, quick. I've just seen Black X boarding a train for Washington. On shining rails, the powerful Washington Special swoops under the tunnel and roars down the Jersey coast. Dawn is breaking, and the speeding train looks...
Oh, go ahead, finish. All right.
And the speeding train looks grim and ominous. It's the train they call the City of New Orleans. It'll have gone 500 miles before the day is done. Oh, wait, that was too much.
That was it. Well, I like that. That's kind of an interesting narration right there. On shining rails, the powerful Washington Special swoops under the tunnel and roars down the Jersey coast. Dawn is breaking, and the speeding train. So, you want to read that again, RJ?
Dawn is breaking, and the speeding train looks grim
I meant the whole thing.
Oh, what? He does get rather poetic here, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I almost want some.
Go ahead, read that whole narration with that one block narration again.
On shining rails, the powerful Washington Special swoops under the tunnel and roars down the Jersey coast. Dawn is breaking, and the speeding train looks grim and ominous.
You don't see writing like this too much anymore, do you?
No.
All right, now continuing on here.
In the club car, the scant passengers doze peacefully to the monotonous sound of the wheels.
The writing here, it's just incredible, huh?
Yep. Suddenly, 2 men enter from another car. They pause and scrutinize the passengers.
We've searched every car.
Look, Mike, that's him sitting over there. He's got the green case. How many green cases did he have? One man sits down next to X while another covers him. Hello, Mr. Black X. We found you at last. Hand over the green case.
Sure, here it is. I guess you got me, boys.
Thanks. And we're gonna bump you off. Suddenly, they are thrust into darkness as the train enters a tunnel.
I wonder what's going to happen here.
I got him. I got his arm.
Hold on. Before we go down to the next set of panels, what do you think is liable to happen, RJ?
Oh, well, it gets dark, and anything can happen in the dark.
What do you think is the most likely to happen then?
I think he's going to attack. They won't be able to see it coming. Woody, yes, and the rhythm of the rails is all they feel. And literally in that one panel, mothers with their babes asleep were rocking to the gentle beat. So,
Woody said something interesting there.
Yeah, he was catching on to the original monologue where I took it on a little further and did that "Good Morning America, How Are You" riff on the train.
Yeah. So, anyways, getting down.
There it is. Sock.
Go ahead, RJ.
I got him. I got his arm.
Let go, you dope. That's my arm.
When the train emerges, he's gone. Jumped out. Oh, they're still the same guy, isn't it? But I've got the green case. Let's see what's in it. Well, I'll be. It's empty. Only a note.
And it's a little hard to read, but I'm sure. I'm sure it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, I'll be seeing you in jail. You realize this is 3 green cases that Black X has left behind now. Where's he keeping them all? Are they like folded up in his jacket or something?
Yeah, you do have to kind of wonder about that, don't you?
They're collapsible.
Some cookie writing.
Hey, Bianca Zombie, good to see you, man. Here. Outside the speeding train.
Whew. Those fellas sure are tenacious. RJ, little vocabulary question for you here. What you know what the word tenacious means? And would you like to?
It means they stick to you like glue.
Uh-huh. Again, not a word you probably see a whole lot in comics anymore, right?
Too many syllables.
Yeah, no kidding.
Inside the big train. Here we are. We're inside the big train. The spies renew their hunt for Black X.
Keep looking. He couldn't have jumped out. He's no fool.
Meanwhile, dude looks like a lady.
Well, I guess we're licked. That guy Black X gave us the slip.
Come on, let's sit down. I'm tired. This one's you, man.
I know. It's me. I'm just trying to prep my voice to try to pull this off here.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a combination of a woman's voice and the Brit Scott voice I've been doing. Pardon, but may I sit here?
Yeah, it's okay, lady. At last, the train puffs to a halt in the nation's capital. The old lady leaves the two and is soon lost in the mob.
Now, RJ, in this case, what does mob mean?
Oh, it's a throng of people.
Right. It doesn't mean mafia, right?
Yeah. They didn't talk much about that mob back then in comics.
Yeah. Because they weren't trying to make kids delinquents.
Yeah, well, not in espionage anyway. In espionage, it was always spies. This could easily be thugs for the mob.
All right.
Hey, look, Mike. A note pinned to your coat.
we're a couple of chumps that the old lady was the Black X. Well, I'll be. Let's see. Um, thanks.
Thanks for allowing me.
Huh?
Thanks for allowing me to sit next to you.
Oh, thanks for allowing me to sit next to you, Black X.
In Black X's favorite restaurant.
X, that evidence you collected sure was complete. We rounded up the last at least 20 spies. Look at the headlines.
Spy ring exposed. Clever work of mystery agent traps 20 spies. All will be tried in 2 weeks. Conviction certain.
But I can't understand why you mailed the green case with all those valuable papers in it. It would have been a lot safer on your person. That's what you think.
Oh, look at that. He gives us the Filmation Superman wink.
Yeah. And I know the next time I get a chance to have you on during a week where I'm covering DC Comics, I'm gonna probably have you do Superman as part of it because you said that you could do a Bud Collyer voice. So
yeah, I tried Bud Collyer, but yeah, this is
actually I do have to kind of tell you something about that too, because I told you before that there was a period of like 7 issues where in 6 of them the Ultra Humanite had appeared in Action Comics.
Right.
Remember I actually double checked that. Actually, it wasn't 6 through 7; it was 6 through 9 issues from Action Comics 13 to 21. So I was off by a couple there. Sorry about that. Yeah, but anyways, another espionage picture story in the July issue on sale May 31st. So, yeah, that's in the July issue, but I think they did actually move it over to Smash Comics, I believe. So, anyways, let's shrink this page back down a little bit for a moment while we move through it. So, what did you think of that story, RJ?
I thought it was cool. It was a neat trick. I mean, he keeps leaving these empty places, and then they reveal at the end, oh, it was in the mail the whole time.
Yeah. Bianca Zombie's here.
Yeah.
Hey, Bianca Zombie. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying the stuff, dude. Hope you're enjoying the content thus far. And if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. Woody, of course, saying hi to him. Let's see. Tenacious is one less than Elevacious. Okay.
Elevenacious.
Oh. It's great. He's been checking out your channel, Bianca. You have a lot of interesting content. I love it. Let's see now. Let's see. So okay, we're up to 6 likes, so that's cool. Thank you guys for the likes and shares. So we can get some more friendly people in here to enjoy the content. So, anyways, let's go through here. So we have Jane Arden here. And again, we might be going back through some of this. Let's see, where are we at on time? Yeah, we're still got plenty of time yet. Just about almost coming up on 39 and a half minutes there. Gallant Knight. Big Top. Captain Cook of Scotland Yard. Archie O'Toole. Archie O'Toole, another one of Will Eisner's characters there. They're still talking. Here we go. Here's everybody's favorite Mr. Napkin Face right here. All right. Oh, yeah. We do want to bring up to 200 there. All right.
I've not read this one. Yay.
The Clock Strikes, a complete story by Georgie Brenner. Look at that face right there, RJ.
know. Anybody could hide behind that mask. I don't know what sticks. He must tuck it like up under his hat or something, and just pins it with his hat band.
And of course, this is another story that's a bit of a tie-in to the 1939 World's Fair. And another little, as we've noted throughout the April issues, particularly with the with both Fiction House and with DC, how we've had some stories that, in fact, DC even published a full book devoted to the New York World's Fair.
Oh yeah, everybody was talking about it.
Yeah. All right, RJ, go for it.
Brian O'Brien, who, when justice calls, plays the role of the clock, visits the greatest show on earth, the International Fair.
Why the architecture and displays are beyond all imagination.
And coming down the fairway, Brian O'Brien is lost in the vast crowd. He sees buildings dedicated to the science of medicine. Buildings that resemble ships.
Wow, look at that. Look at that.
I know. Well, that's what they did. They just built, you had your house of the future, and this was obviously a Walgreens. Look, it's a pestle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you think about that too, yeah, because if you remember a lot of the Golden Age cartoons, a lot of the, particularly the ones from the 40s, you had a lot of this stuff going on too. As you were just mentioning, the whole idea of the House of the Future and how they had all the push button stuff, and then later in the 60s with the Jetsons and all that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this was retro. This is what they call retro future now. It was like, we thought it was going to look like this. No. Buildings that house communications exhibits, and modernistic structures that house foreign displays. I like that. When it comes to the foreign displays, they're just modern structure. They're shoe boxes. You just drew shoe boxes there, dude. You didn't even think about that one.
Wow, but look at how they're putting the language together. Look at how they're putting the wording and the phrasing here.
Oh, yeah.
It's very well structured. At least in my opinion. What do you think, RJ?
Yeah, it was not cheap writing. This guy was trying to do a good job writing a pulp story. Meanwhile, unnoticed by the crowd, two men talk in low, sinister tones.
Okay, so one's got a fedora. Well, okay, so all right.
You got a fedora and a golfer cap.
All right. I guess I'll do the golfer cap guy. You do the fedora guy.
Okay.
All right. Look, chick. Just because the rackets couldn't muscle in here, there's no reason why we shouldn't get a slice of all this dough that's being spent here.
And how are you gonna do that?
By a stick up, it's a cinch. I've been watching this show for a week, and it's about this time the collectors go around and pick up the dough. You see, they have the money all ready for these guys when they come in. So all we gotta do is go in, grab the coin, and beat it. Easy.
You're crazy to try it, boss. Why, police force in here is as good as the regular cops in the city. Look, there's one of them now. Do you think I want him after me? Nix, boss. Count me out. I'm wise enough to know we can't get away with anything like this.
Getting cold feet there, chick. Why you crap?
Knocked him all the way into crack comics.
Yeah. Well, actually, a few months later, when crack, in fact, I think it's actually in 1940 when crack comics starts up. Is that's where the clock eventually goes. crack comics. Just as it's kind of funny, espionage, the Black Egg, as I mentioned, the following month here will go over into Smash Comics, and then the Clock will eventually find his way to Crack Comics, and of course, in a way, replacing those two will be Dollman will become the main hero in this comic. You know who Dollman is.
Oh yeah, I know Dollman. Dorrance, Dane Dorrance.
No, in here it was Daryl Dane.
Oh, what am I thinking of? Oh, I think I got another double D hero on my mind. Now I've got to look him up. Who was Dane Dorrance?
Okay. I'll do the job myself, and I won't have to split with anyone. Here's the place. Pick 'em up. And if you move for 5 minutes, I'll plug you.
Not far away, Brian wanders aimlessly along with the human tide, when suddenly...
Wait. With the human tide.
Yep, very metaphorical.
That's a very interesting way of saying that.
Yeah. By the way, Dane Dorrance with the Sea Devils.
Yeah.
Just same alliteration. I got them mixed up.
Yeah, Daryl Dane was Dollman. Go ahead.
Stop! Thief!
Well, there was another piece of narration there.
Oh, I did that. The wind suddenly?
Yeah, I just didn't hear it then.
Yeah.
Okay, when
and the clock takes up the chase. As the crook is about to duck into one of the many buildings, he sees...
Shit. For gosh sakes, steer him off my trail.
Get going, rat.
Hey, you did. Hey, you. Did you see a fellow running by here?
Yes, he went in here. He's heading for the roof. He ain't socking me and getting away with it.
The clock heads for the roof.
And you notice here, he's not using his mask yet.
No, he hadn't have it on. He just chased him down.
You halt! It won't be long now, fella.
Smack. The fight brings both men closer to the edge of the roof.
Oh boy, what do you think is liable to happen here, RJ?
Somebody's going over.
Yeah, the comics back in these days were a little darker. Excuse me one moment. Things are getting a little dim here. Tonight, the thing was a little more overcast, so I didn't have to put like towels and stuff over my curtains, but now the sun's down enough to where it's getting a little dim in here. So I'm going to go off camera for a moment. RJ, if you want to promote anything or entertain the crowd, maybe give some other notations on some of the stuff we're talking about here.
I will say, I had to go and get myself some Golden Age bags and backers. Why? Because I have to ship out these Golden Age size comics. This is the Immortal Mask by from Denali's Comics, and it is at www.denali's.com. That is DINALES. And it is completely done. There is no crowdfunder. If you like the artwork of Alex Raymond, that's what you're going to find inside here. Very dense storytelling, all 3 issues. And like I said, it's wide enough, just wide enough that it won't fit in Silver Age bags. It's printed to Golden Age size standards. So I had to get Golden Age bags and backers. You don't have to wait for this one. There's no goal to hit. It is, you say, hey, I want that comic. They give you the comic. It's amazing. There's no 2-year wait. There's no live streams that you have to attend and wonder why the comic's not being drawn. Just buy the comics. It's almost like going to your LCS shop. Meanwhile, in California, Mike wanders around the basement, pulling curtains down and turning on lights. Kicking in chairs, knocking down tables in a restaurant. In a West End town, call the police, there's a madman around. Running down underground to a dive bar in a West End town. I'm filling in as long as I can, but the studio must have light so that Mike is not operating in darkness. Doom 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 doom. Rum, ba-dum, dum, 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 dum. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Doop, 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 doop. And I guess Mike is still in jeopardy, or the lighting is still in jeopardy. I do not know. So I could just start reading out loud from The Tryout, the latest from, who's this from? Scholastic's graphics imprint. The Tryout by Christina. I'm not even going to try. I will type that name. I will not try to say it. But yeah, it's more almost manga-like goodness. What's it about? It's about a 7th grade girl trying out for the cheerleading squad. And the tryouts are actually like on the first few pages, and you get to the point where you find the title chapter, and it's 6 months earlier. Like, oh no! She's getting ready to try out. She's very nervous. And right before she goes into her routine, they roll credits and start the story 6 months back. I don't know what I'm going to do. So yeah, tension, fraught with it. We don't know what her story is. What is her story? We should say on the back here. When cheerleading tryouts are announced, Christina and her friend Megan literally jump at the chance to join the squad. As 2 of the only kids of color in the school, they have always yearned to fit in, and the middle school cheerleaders are popular and accepted by everyone. But will the girls survive the terrifying tryouts with the whole school watching? And will their friendship
What are you doing now, RJ?
I'm reading the back of The Tryout.
Oh.
The Tryout from Scholastic by Christina Soontornvat and Joanna Cacao.
That's from Scholastic. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. But that sounds a little woke to me.
It might just be. I don't know. Maybe. Whenever it's stuff written like that, you've got a lot of comic creators who still think it's 1960.
Yeah. Oh, anyways, I'm back now, so we can get back to story here. So I'd ask, and we had stopped here just because we wanted to see what So let's see what ends up happening here then. And we think that somebody might be going over the edge there. Let's see what happens.
Somebody did in that last panel. Look!
He's falling! Oh! Oh! That'll take care of him. Now to get down out of here. And there's
And overhand.
Look at that scene. Does that scene remind you of anything?
That's
RJ,
a Batman scene.
Childhood?
That's a Batman move if I ever saw one.
Well, okay, yeah. Batman wasn't necessarily the one I was thinking of. There's another hero from Marvel that kind of reminds me of. You know who I'm thinking about?
Spider-Man?
Uh-huh. I remember particularly from the 1967 series from the Grant Wade Lawrence production team, how he would at times grab onto it and do the full float over and then eventually land on all fours basically. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Use it to catapult himself back up into the air.
Yeah. All right.
Hand over hand, the clock comes back. The pole. What? Hand over hand, the clock comes back. The pole. That ain't right. and climbs through a window. Sorry, George, you dropped some words there.
Well, I think I get what he's basically saying. So he's kind of like,
yeah, I know what he's saying, but he didn't say what he's saying.
You just think he didn't say it as well as he could have, right?
He dropped some words. That's not a sentence.
Let's see. Hand over hand, the clock comes back. The pole. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
He's missing a preposition in there. He's like comes back along the pole and climbs through a window that leads into the hall through which the crook is running.
All right. Anyways,
I just read the narration there.
Oh,
so
okay. What the? And you want to do that?
look, Tom, there they are. 5 minutes later, we got this guy. Did you see where the other fellow went? No, but when I searched the sky, I found this. The clock's card.
You mean that was the clock?
Yes, and I think he let you off pretty easy.
Okay, you know what's funny about this story? Okay,
everybody knows what he looks like now.
Yeah, well, that's one thing, but that's kind of, and I'm sure, and I know you've read a number of his stories already too, just as I have, but that seems to be kind of a recurring theme with him. Somehow he gets exposed. His face gets exposed somehow in a lot of his stories.
And
you've seen that,
there's not even a clock on the card.
Huh?
There's not even a clock on the card.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, another episode of The Clock in the July issue of Feature Comics on sale May 31st. So, there we go with that one. All right. So, we're done with our two main features. So, let's see where we're at here. We're at on time here. Wow, we're not even at the hour mark, so we got plenty of time. And we're like 57, almost 58 minutes into this. Okay. So, anyways, laugh out loud, boing sound. All right, RJ. Well, what did you think of that story?
I was a little disappointed by that one. I mean, come on. There's no mask. There's no switching identities. It's you just I'm the clock. Here's my card.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like
he may have felt a little rushed. Maybe they, as I said, they were probably trying to get this story out for the
but here's the thing, story wise,
maybe he felt a little rushed.
It's kind of like, if Killer Moth decided to hold up a charity function and Bruce Wayne was there, and Bruce Wayne's surrounded by a crowd, and he runs by and Bruce just happens to trip him and knocks him down. Like, hey, look, Bruce Wayne knocked down the crook. And he says, oh, by the way, here's my card. I'm Batman. I was like...
Yeah, well, Quality Comics, their heroes, there were... I'm sure you've seen a lot of these little quirks and stuff in the Clock stories that you've read. And of course we saw some of them in Espionage too. Throughout much of Quality Comics heroes, you'll find some pretty quirky behavior.
Well, he has a torture chamber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Clock has a torture chamber, as we talked about before. So there's Lollapalooza. Excuse me a moment. I need to go tend to Chloe, so I'll be right back. Let's see. Proto Batman. I'll be right back, RJ. Again, if you want to give some notations or anything on anything or promote anything, go ahead.
I lost my place. I went all the way back to the beginning of the book. Now I've got to click and click and click. There are a lot of pages in these old Golden Age books. A lot of stories. Come on, come on, come on. And you even get the text. Wow! Not only is it a text story, but it's chapter 2 of a text story. So you have to continue along with that, almost like Reader's Digest stuff. Okay, I'm into the Ned Brandt story. I find it interesting how a lot of these stories, they were comics, but they didn't bother creating a superhero. I mean, other than Black X and the Clock, everyone else is just their name. It's just like, what you got? Hey, this is a guy named Ted Brandt. We're going to call the book Ted Brandt. It's not even the Adventures of Ted Brandt or detective extraordinaire. It's just Ted Brandt. In fact, I think Ted was like a sports character.
Well, Ted Grant was Wildcat in DC.
Ted Grant was Wildcat. Yes. Ned Brandt is just Ned Brandt. He's just a guy. He just plays baseball and football and soccer and whatever sport happens to be playing that day. He's good at it.
Yeah, kind of like Cliff Chance or Cliff Chance at Cliffside, or let's see, that him, and then who else am I thinking of? Pep Morgan in DC. Let's see. Well, maybe let's see. Lollapalooza. Let's see if we can get to some other ones first here. Mungo Family. Actually, I'll go back to the beginning and then just kind of breeze through here first, and then go back through. And there's who you were talking about there, Ned Brandt. History of Echo Island. Toddy. Reynolds of the Mounted. Dixie Dugan. Joe Palooka at the end of the comic this time, not at the beginning. Joe Flash Gordon, World Series hero. So, G, Mother, and Dad. Right. Okay, so I went back to the beginning here. We'll kind of go through some of the stuff real quick here. So, all right, Nippy and Mickey Finn here. All right. All right, you want to do the kid on the left? Is that a boy or a girl? Actually,
I think they're both boys. Yeah, they're both boys.
All right.
Don't, Nippy. That cat is a fighter.
Go on, sick 'em, Rex. Grrr. Mickey Finn.
Cat was a fighter. Stood up and punched him on the nose. That
Mickey
was a joke
Finn
back then, folks.
Finn by Lingley. Now, some of these were interesting characters and titles, because, as I understand it, Mickey Finn, isn't that what somebody does to your drink sometimes?
That is.
Huh?
Yeah. That was you slip them a Mickey. That's basically what we call roofing now.
Yeah. All right. Okay. They're having a smoker at Uncle Phil's lodge tonight. Emma? Yes, and he was appointed to buy the cigars. You want to do those two characters?
How many boxes you want, Mr. Finn? 5.
Pardon, senor. I see what you buy in that store, and I could save you mucha money.
How? Yeah? You mean you don't want them? That's right. I've changed my mind. You've smuggled them in, eh?
Yes, my boat. She just came in from Cuba.
They're pure Havana, boys, and I saved the lodge $10.
Phew. There must have been fish on the boat.
This one must have swam from Havana. I can't keep it lit.
I think it's made out of cabbage and very old cabbage. Some rope.
Yeah. What is some rope? That's yuck.
Maybe he's kind of adding on to what the other person was saying, like instead of just saying the full sentence, it was made
Old
with some
cabbage,
rope.
some rope. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. We might have known you'd gum it up.
Call a meeting
Call a
right
meeting right now. Call a meeting right now. Yes, let's act on this at once. Mr. Houlihan has the floor, gentlemen. I'm sorry. I should be letting you get in.
There's so many people, though, it's impossible to keep track of them.
Yeah.
It's a real crowd.
Yeah.
I want to make a motion.
All in favor of Mr. Houlihan's motion, say aye. Now let's do it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Aye!
Aye! And the motion was to make Mr. Finn smoke all the cigars.
All right. All right. So, and it looks like they're all separate stories here, so we can move on to the usually, unless it's all one connecting story. Like I'll either just do a panel, or if it is if it's one story, then I'll either do a story or a panel depending on how it's set up. So, all right. So, Off the Record by Ed Reed. Oh. Hey, you! I said pull over.
Pull over where? That's the kind of road I drive on.
Oh, that right there?
Yes. There is no pullover.
Yeah. My mama wants to borrow a bit of butter and put it on this bread. Okay. You want to try doing that next one right there, or next two right there, RJ?
It's raining. Wear your rubbers out, Miss Smith. That advice will be $5, please.
Drive nowhere special. Just lose yourself in traffic.
Okay, the con.
Yeah, he's escaped. He just wants to get lost. Poetry for an advertisement.
Let's do this together. We'll do alternating lines here. Ready?
Okay.
When your granddad.
Well, if we do alternating lines, we're going to throw the rhyme off. Let's do alternating panels.
Let's alternating panels?
Yeah. Okay. It'll throw the cadence off if we try to do it every other line. Because it's poetry.
When your granddad was just a lad, the bikes were high and scary. There were no makes with coaster brakes, and falling wasn't merry. Okay, I guess I can see what you were saying there. Yeah. Go ahead.
But Dad's first bike was very like the ones we ride today on, and husky-chested, fancy-vested gents contrived to stay on.
Its moral brake was built to take the hardest kind of roughing, to speed and stop and climb the top of hills that got from them puffing.
So show your pa or unc or ma this brake advice I'm telling. Your shop can get this brake, you bet, on any bike they're selling.
Be sure your new bike has a Moro coaster brake, famous for 40 years. Quick stopping, easy pedaling, long coasting, more ball bearings
31.
than any other brake your bicycle dealer can furnish. A Moro Coaster brake on any bike. Ask for it. Eclipse Machine Division of Bendix Aviation Corporation, Department 262, Elmira, New York. So that was fun. Right, RJ?
I'm looking them up. They're still around.
Oh, the company that they talked about there?
The Bendix Corporation. Yes, they are. Now, of course, I don't think they have their own website, but which I find to be interesting. Oh no, they do have a website. It is bendixbrakes.com.
Ah. Gallant Night. Let's see.
It takes forever to load, but
all right, big top here. I guess we can try this one. Where are we at on time here? Now this one is more. I'm pretty sure is a continuous store, and I think I'll have to double check that real quick. Let's see. Well, we're at hour 11, so we're still doing good on time there. So Big Top by Ed Whelan. Okay. All right, RJ, you want to go ahead with the narration there?
a tremendous crowd turns out for the evening show at Pitfalls.
Have your money ready, folks. Oh, how isn't this a grand crowd? I just love it. Oh, bye. All right, you want to go ahead and do the next that one right there?
You bet, Myra. That big crowd in there proves that Jeff Bangs gives them a good show, and they know it.
Meanwhile, behind the big top, Silk Fowler talks with two very mysterious strangers.
Here, Stinger. Will you give the rest? Will you give the rest when you return?
No, Stinger will give you the rest when you return.
Oh, here, Stinger will give you the rest when you return.
After the show, Jeff goes to his ticket wagon.
We took in about 10,000 for the day, boss.
Boing, Jack. Will you and Max take it down the hill to my car? I'll see you later. I must see Silk Fowler. He says he has something important to say to me. But as the treasurer and the legal adjuster are on their way down with the money,
Stick them up. Drop that bag and get over in them bushes quick.
unaware of the holdup, Jeff walks down the hill to the cars with Silk Fowler. Oh, I won't sell my show to anybody, but I'll buy your third interest in it.
No, I won't sell.
As Jeff reaches his car, Sam, where's Jack Coyne and Mac Fox?
Why, they ain't been here, sir.
I was going to give you that one anyway, so I know you like doing those.
I'm just trying to save you, man. I can take the heat. What? Jeff runs outside and meets Hal, Myra, and Red. See anything of Jack Coyne and Max Fox?
Okay, didn't I have you do that guy as well?
Is that the same guy? He didn't have the skull on his chest. Okay. Why, no. Jeff quickly tells of how the men have vanished with $10,000 in receipts. I can't understand what could have happened to them, Hal.
And a holdup seems impossible on such a short trip, but...
Gee whiz, had Whiskers here now.
Let's go up the hill and look among the trees and bushes, Jeff. You and I will look on the right side of the road. Myra and Red look on the left side.
A few moments later...
Oh, gosh. Here, everybody. Come here, quick.
What
Who's saying that? Oh, it's the woman.
Oh. What is it, Red?
Look, Jack Coyne and Max Fox, Jeff.
And they're gagged and tied up.
Oh, wait, no, that's the kid. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Crowded scenes in these older books.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Quick, Red, run to the cars and bring Doc Ames here at once.
Okay, Hal.
Okay, now it's the boss.
And they got away with the $10,000, Max.
Yes, they stuck us up when they blackjacked us. That's all I remember. Now, RJ, what do you think they mean by blackjack?
Well, a blackjack was a leather pouch filled to the brim with sand so that you could basically hit somebody with it and it would knock them out. You'd hit them in the back, right at the base of the skull, and it would knock them unconscious.
Yeah, I remember. I kind of remember. It's kind of funny because I think back in the mid to late 90s, when Stevie Ray turned on his brother Booker T and Harlem Heat in WCW and professional wrestling, they were saying that he would start to use a blackjack to knock people out.
Yeah.
So
Also sometimes called a sap.
huh?
Also sometimes it was called a sap.
Huh? A FAP?
A sap, S-A-P, like the stuff in trees.
Okay. All right, so here we go on to the next page here.
Next page. Red gets Doc Ames out of bed and they hurry off in the darkness.
You say it was a hold up, Red? Yes, and they was blackjack too, Doc.
Red and Doc meet Jeff, Hal, and Myra bringing the treasurer and legal adjuster to the cars.
Well, that's a lot of people.
Are they badly hurt, Jeff?
Nothing serious, Doc.
There is much talk of the holdup in the privilege car.
Gosh, it looks like a jinx is on the show.
That's an awful lot of money to lose. And Jeff Bangs is quickly driven to the police station.
Thanks for the lift, stranger. It was kind of you.
When did the holdup take place, Mr. Bangs?
Not more than an hour ago. They took $10,000 in cash. And in his car berth, Silk Fowler smiles.
If those two guys don't get caught, everything will be swell.
Meanwhile, the circus train speeds on to Pineville. The next day, in Pineville, Jeff Bangs meets a circus fan.
Mr. Bangs, I'm Walter Stockton, president of the First National Bank here.
Howdy.
I read about your $10,000 holdup loss, and I'm here to advance you any money you need. I also have a little favor to ask of you. Since I was a kid, I always wanted to be a clown, and
Certainly you can fill in as clown, sir. We have a few extra suits, I think.
fine. Boss, here's a wire from the police at Pitt Falls.
Pitfalls. Yeah, you just got it.
Pitfall. Well,
Yeah.
Pitfalls.
Yeah. You just got it. Yeah, okay.
Well, that's the first time I'd actually seen the word or heard the word.
They mentioned it a little earlier in the story.
That was the first time I'd heard it, I guess.
This is where the circus has all of its pitfalls. It's at Pitfalls.
As Jeff reads the telegram, hold-up men made a getaway in stolen car. Bag found near station. Have no description of thugs. Signed, Shields Chief of Police.
Well, Mr. Stockton, unless we have a good day here, I'll have to take you alone. Oh, meet Max Fox, our legal adjuster.
How are you, Mr. Fox? And don't worry about business here. The folks are really circus mad. And now, Mr. Bangs, about that her clown business. Why her? Mr. Bangs said that you'd fix my makeup, Mr. Sterling. Yes. Will you take your glasses off, please?
A half hour later.
My, this is great. My friends will never know me now. Next, we'll figure out some gag for you, Mr. Stockton. We think the best gag for you would be the water bucket one. There, here's now it go. Here's how it goes. Continued. So big
Continued
top
next month.
is. Oh, what did you just say?
Continued next month.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess if you want to do those more controversial characters, I don't mind.
I'll take him.
But then again, I wouldn't mind doing them myself, anyways. But I think you just do them. I think you do them better than I would, anyways. Captain Cook of Scotland Yard, Archie O'Toole. I'm picking out more of the funnier ones, just just to mix things up. Wow. So Proto Batman. Let's see. RJ Dolo Solo. I have heard that people used to read things.
I used to read comics.
Give me a break. Oh, this is all probably back during the break stuff.
Yeah, he's queued up a while back there now.
Yeah. Blackjack Lanza. Now there was a very famous tag team back in the 70s called the Blackjacks. Blackjack Mulligan and Blackjack Lanza. Blackjack Mulligan, whose real name was Bob Wyndham, was the father of Barry and Kendall Wyndham, and the grandfather of the grandfather through Bob Wyndham's daughters of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. So, a little history tidbit for you there. Moving the glasses did wonders for Clark Kent's disguise. Right, so Archie O'Toole. Let's see. First off, hour 23. So, yeah, so I think I will try to do Archie and maybe one more. We are getting closer to the end here. Let's see. See how things go. Archie Thomas by Bud Thomas. Archie O'Toole by Bud Thomas. Now, RJ, I don't know. You probably did know this because I know you know quite a bit about. I think Bud Thomas is another pseudonym that Will Eisner used. Were you aware of that?
I was not aware of that. Let's see. Will Eisner, a.k.a. Whoa, okay. Will
he had a
Eisner.
number of aliases.
Yes, a.k.a. Bud Thomas, a.k.a. Will Irwin, a.k.a. Kerry White, a.k.a. Willis Rency. Willis Rency is Will Eisner anagrammed. So yeah, he had a few.
And
Archie O'Toole,
and we've talked about before too. There were a number of comics artists back in this day who would use a number of pseudonyms. They'd publish stories both under their real names and under pseudonyms because, of course, this is during the infancy of comics. They didn't know how successful they would become, and of course, if they flopped, They didn't obviously want their names attached to it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want my name on this.
So yeah, you learn something new every day, don't you, RJ?
Every day, if you try.
Yeah. Yeah, the counter's
He's
going
got a
smooth
queen.
on us again. All right, so Archie O'Toole. Message for King Archie O'Toole at 5 p.m. Queen Bee Beehive will arrive for a royal visit while en route to the World Fair in New York. Again, another tie-in to the New York World Fair. You want to do that guy right there?
Sure. Evil tidings. She's a persistent lass. If she likes you, she'll want to marry you. And she always gets what she's after.
Shucks, I've got a girl.
You want me to do her voice?
You want to try doing the blonde girl this time?
Sure.
Go for it.
You bet you have. I won't allow you to see her. I'll scratch that vixen's eyes out.
Oh wow! Could you imagine somebody writing that today?
Oh yeah.
The SJWs would have a fit. They saw that language in the comics. You know, a woman actually acting catty. All right, continue on with the little guy right there, and then.
Oh yeah. Dum-de-dum.
But Susie, darling, it's my royal duty to see her.
Tell me, Snookums, who does oo love? Does oo still love me?
Yes, I'm your Romeo, and you're my Juliet. Oh, look at it! Look at the look like the sweat coming down his.
Yeah.
I'll abdicate. I'll give up my crown for the woman I love at long last, or something.
You can't do that. We got a long lease on this place.
Not place.
Palace. Although, same root word.
But be reasonable. It ain't my fault she's coming.
Well, I'll not be here. I'm going home to Mother. Go ahead and see the hussy.
Some funny stuff there, huh?
Oh yeah.
She's left me. Oh gosh. What'll I do?
Stiff upper lip, old chap. Be a man. Stand up for your rights. Maybe Queen Bee is not so bad.
Queen Bee. Yeah. Sniff. Ahem. She pretty Garfinkel?
Well, here's her picture. Maybe you'd better judge for yourself.
Oh, I guess I really love Susie Sweet after all. Susie Sweet. After all. Oh, what have I done to deserve such misery? Life no longer holds any charm for me. Oh, would that I could sacrifice my life for some valiant. The writing's getting interesting here. The writing's getting a little Shakespearean here, don't you think?
Yes,
There
but the spelling is going backwards.
Huh?
But the spelling's going backwards. Valiant is spelled with an A at the end there.
Huh. You want to do the little old guy right there?
Aha, just the man I need. Psst. Hey, you.
Who, me?
Yes, you. Psst. How would you like to help me conduct the greatest experiment of all time?
Sure.
Archie accompanies the strange professor to his laboratory.
Just drink this liquid. I'll make notes on its reaction and then restore you to normalcy.
I hope you can do it. You can do it. Glug, glug, glug. Tastes like a double chocolate soda. Glug.
Drink it all. Good to the last drop.
Maxwell House.
I feel sort of queer.
Clip it. Clip it, folks.
What was that, RJ? Oh.
I said clip the video.
Feel sort of, well, queer, of course, in this case.
I know.
We talk about this all the time, don't we?
Yes.
Queer
Weird
definitely had a
mist.
different meaning back in 1939 than it does today.
I know.
There's some
A
narration
weird
here.
mist fills the room as Archie emerges from a green haze, transformed into a horrible, deformed creature.
Whoa, that's something I don't think I'd want to see in a dark alley. How about you,
No.
RJ?
No,
Huh?
not me. Meanwhile, speaking of horrible deformed creatures, Queen Bee Hive arrives and demands to see Archie at once.
Well, Stooge, where's the king?
He'll be out to see you presently, Highness.
What? Is that King? What? Is that King Archie? Let's see. Come into my beautiful parlor, my beautiful one. He. Ha ha. Hiya, babe. Lo toots. But Highness, I thought we were going to stay for a week. No, I've changed my mind. I'm getting out of here fast. Step on it.
Back at the castle,
But look at Queen Bee Travel. You sure scared her off. He just looked in the mirror and fainted. Poof! Do you blame him? He sure looked horrible. But don't you worry. This injection will bring him back to normal.
Gee, Susie, I'm sure glad you've returned to me.
Thanks, Archie. But I can't figure out why Queen Bee left so quickly. She'll never know.
More of Archie O'Toole in the July issue of Feature Comics. Let's see, where are we at on time? Hour 33. So,
you trying to fill it to the top of the hour?
I always do. But
Okay.
basically, we can get at least one more, and probably at about a quarter till, I'll probably do this day in each history. But anyways, all right. So there's at least one more I want to try to get to. Oh well, we can also do some of these side pieces too. They're still
Woody says, end
talking.
it.
Huh?
Woody's in the chat saying, end it.
Well, it's like hour 34 here. We still have time. Plus, it's kind of nice to go through some of these little tidbits too. I'll go ahead and read these. They're still talking about the dramatic 9th of at St. Louis. Cardinal fans aren't excited as Grimes walks Cochran of the Athletics to start the ninth inning. He stopped the A's in the 8th after filling the bases with 1 out. Now, the guy they were talking about here, Grimes, is Burley Grimes, who was one of the last spitballers of that era. Was one of the last spitballers. Spitballs back then had basically a very similar type of odd movement, much like knuckleballs.
Yep.
But usually, they would usually put their spit on the ball. In some cases, they'd actually lick a ball. Now, and going back into the 20s, mind you, and even into the 10s, they would actually lick dirty balls.
Hey, careful.
I'm meaning it in a totally different. Okay, I'll rephrase it a little bit.
If I can get you in a corner, Mike, you know I'm going to do it.
Dirty baseballs. Does that help?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
They would
that would make the ball
sometimes lick dirty baseballs to apply their spit. Now, one guy actually died from that practice, believe it or not. Yeah, I thank you for reminding me of that, RJ. I knew what I meant.
I knew what you meant too, but
dirty, but you're right.
It was there, and I had to say it.
I mean, something totally else.
Yeah.
Again,
but yeah, the ball would be slippery, and then when the guy hit it with the bat, if it hit that spot there, it would connect differently, and it would either chop down or chop up because it would slide against the wood.
Right. Yeah, and they had things like Vaseline balls back then and all that. So,
oh yeah.
And with that though, of course, with those type of pitches, there were some significant control issues. So, defiantly, Grimes wheels the ball in there and forces the hard-hitting Al Simmons to pop out, and then turns to face the great Jimmy Fox. So, this, I'm thinking this probably might be the 1930 or 31 World Series they're talking about. Let's see. Scorning his famous spitter, Grimes hitches his belt and shoots a high fast one at Connie Mack's big first sacker. It is the first pitch, and Fox is ready to crack. There is momentary silence. Then a roar as the terrific drive spurs far into the left field stands for a home run, winning the fifth game of the World Series 2-0. This perfect inning and perfect follow through. The perfect timing and perfect follow through swing of Jimmy Fox has sent many a pitch skyward, just as it did that day, October 6, 1930, at St. Louis. The Athletics won the series. So,
I'm a Cardinals fan, so now I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed 98 years later.
and then the clock, of course. Let's see, 1:40. Yeah. YouTube is only saying 1 viewer. StreamYard saying 0 viewers. Anyways, we already, of course, read the clock. There is one more story I do want to get to here before we start wrapping things up here. There we go. Well, let's see. This will probably be the last one we do here. Dixie Dugan. I like Dixie Dugan.
Okay.
All right. I wish I were in Dixie. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Good deal, Doty. Oh wait. Actually, probably think about. Yeah. Okay. There we go. That might make it a little easier to. Good deed, Doty. My, he's awfully lazy. Idea. Idea. Maybe this'll give him an idea or what he should be doing. Ha ha! That's that for today. That's that for today.
I'm glad there's a little bit of text down there that says rubber doll, making clear she did not go kidnap a baby.
Huh. Huh. All right, Dixie Dugan by J.P. McAvoy and J.H. Struble. Let's see.
Yep, I got her.
Ooh, look at the beautiful roses. Say, I know my Auntie Dixie likes violets a whole lot.
Really? Here, Imogen, I'll get violets then.
Ooh, thank you. Auntie Dixie likes roses an awful lot, she does.
Roses? Do tell. Roses it is then. Here, keep these violets for yourself.
You really shouldn't, but thank you.
Oh boy. Now,
Here comes another one.
RJ, let me ask you this. What do you think people today would how they'd react to this?
Well, first of all, this is the third guy to come visit Dixie's doorstep in the space of less than half an hour because those flowers ain't wilted. I want to know how much Dixie's charging, and are the police aware that she's operating this kind of a brothel with a child in attendance?
Yeah, well, but I don't think it is. But I could just see some SJW sitting there having a fit about all this. Wouldn't you say so?
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
Auntie Dixie is terrible fond of orchids. Are them orchids?
oh wait. You really shouldn't, but thank you. Oh. The next panel is haha, here comes another one.
Right. Yep. I was there.
Okay, well, I didn't catch it. Can you start there, please?
Oh yeah.
Ha, here comes another one. Auntie Dixie is terrible fond of orchids. Are them orchids?
You mean orchids? No. orchids, orchids, orchids.
Woo! Thanks a lot. I didn't fib neither, 'cause Auntie Dixie likes all kinds of flowers. Happy Mother's Day, Mother dear.
Plop. Why, emoji? Why, Emogene? And I think that's all for because I think these separate stories. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Conned all
there we
those
go.
suitors out of their flowers.
That's an interesting con, isn't it?
Yeah, and she didn't fib because Auntie Dixie likes all kinds of flowers.
Oh yeah. All right, so we're at hour 46 now, so we're kind of anyway. So now would probably be a good time to start winding things down. RJ,
Today,
stick around after the show for a few minutes for post game. We'll start to wind things down with getting ready for this day in each history. Just gotta remind myself a few things here. Yeah, okay. All right. So, anyways, that's from 2002, and we already know 72 and 98. Okay.
hey Rick, here for this day in niche history.
Oh, Rick just got here.
Yep.
Hey, Rick. Well, you'll probably have to go back and watch over what we did tonight. So, sorry you missed most of it for live, but you can still go back and catch what we were reading throughout. So, anyways, today being Friday, September 2nd, 2022, why don't we go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history? History! And first off, I'm going to head back 50 years ago today, as on this date back in 1972, the NWA International Heavyweight Championship, last held by Giant Baba, and the NWA International Tag Team title, last held by Baba and Seiji Takeuchi, are both vacated when Baba leaves Japan Pro Wrestling Alliance to launch All Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, the NWA International Heavyweight title would eventually become part of All Japan's Triple Crown. So, just as a little tidbit there. So, on this date, back in 1972, 50 years ago today, the NWA International Heavyweight and International Tag Team titles, the Japan versions, because there's a few NWA titles called international titles, but the Japanese versions were vacated when Baba and Sekiguchi would vacate those titles when Baba went to start All Japan. And of course, those titles would actually end up coming over to All Japan when JPA would close down about a year later. Not even a year later, more like I think 6 or 7 months later, back in early 73. So that should happen 50 years ago there, on the pro wrestling side of things. Now moving ahead to 1998. As on this date, 24 years ago today, in 1998, Action Comics number 1 million went on sale on this date in 1998, 24 years ago today. This was, of course, part of the DC 1 million crossover event. It sold for $1.99, was 32 pages, as compared to the 68 pages of old. Um, the story was Brave New Hero, written by Mark Schultz, penciled by Ron Lim, inked by Jose F. Marzan Jr., lettered by Bill Oakley, and Joe Rosas did the coloring. Any of those names sound familiar to you, RJ?
Oh, several of them. And that was one of the fun events that they did because it was set in the 853rd century. And do you know why it was set in the 853rd century?
Actually, I do not because I haven't researched that far ahead yet. But why don't
Because if
educate me?
they because if they continued publishing one issue of Action Comics every month, it would be the 853rd century when they published the 1 millionth issue of Action Comics.
Ah,
But we pulled them back through a time warp so that you could see what life would be in the 853rd century in the world of DC Comics.
or at least what they thought of it. You want to share any thoughts on that whole storyline on because you obviously sound very critical of it. You want to share
No,
some?
not at all. It was it wasn't. That's the thing. It wasn't really a storyline. Um, there were different independent stories, so it wasn't like you had to get all of them, which really ruins an event comic if you got to get every book and they don't all tie in. So you had like Robin the Toy Wonder. Why? Because Robin was a robot. He looked like a little Tinker Toy robot that Batman had built to work with. Batman was operating out of Pluto. He was literally like a god of the underworld now. He operated way out there and kept his prisoners on that ice planet. Um,
Oh yeah,
it was
I
just
think I did hear a little bit about this. Is this the I guess the event or whatever where um each of the core members of the Justice League or whatever represented a planet in the solar system?
no, not so much. But the original Superman was living in the sun. He had thrown himself into the sun years and years and years ago, and I believe that the thing that happened. Oh, there is a sun. There is kind of a loose event going on. There is a tyrant sun is coming to destroy the solar system, and they're like, well, what are we going to do about this because we don't have the original Superman anymore. He's fought this guy before years and years and years ago. Uh, this was a Grant Morrison overall tie-in. So there was the DC 1 million 5-issue series called DC 1 million, but then you had all these 1 million individual issues that didn't tie into the main series other than the fact that they were the same characters.
Right. Well, because I thought I remembered hearing there was, I guess, a storyline or whatever
Well,
where,
when Grant Morrison was
like
writing
going back to
Justice
what you
League,
were saying, like Batman was on Pluto, and so Pluto was his like protectorate. And
yeah,
from what I understand, I guess each member of the Justice League, one of the planets was like their protect. Like I think Wonder Woman might have been.
I'd give her
Wonder Woman
Venus.
might have been Venus or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember that specifically, but I do know that this was the same period when Grant Morrison was writing the regular Justice League series, which this sort of jumped out of. And he did have 12 members of the Justice League, and he did do his best to align them to the 12 Olympian gods. So
Okay.
you had a 1-to-1 correspondence, even with Plastic Man being there, because he wanted I forget who it was, but it was like the trickster god. Flash was obviously Mercury, Hermes. Um, Superman was Zeus. Batman was Hades. Wonder Woman was Athena.
That may be what I was. That could have been what I was thinking, or something along that line. But yeah. So
Steel was Hephaestus.
mhm. Yeah. So, anyways, on this date, 24. Oh, let me ask you this, because of course this ties in with what we've talked about quite a bit more recently. Considering how they thought, what they thought Earth and all this would be like in quote unquote the 853rd century. You have any idea what these people are, what they think of what's going on right now with DC?
Oh, no, I don't think they think anything's going on at DC. They're just trying to hold on to their jobs, I think.
Do you think any of these people are still at DC as it's crashing down around them?
Oh, there's still people there. I don't know who, but remember, none of the artists and writers are really DC employees anymore. They're all contractors.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so that happened 24 years ago today. Action Comics 1 million went on sale on this date. So, but it was a nice little side topic to get into there. Yeah. So anyways, so one last piece of niche history then, where we head out. And over the next week or so, we're gonna probably have quite a few interesting animation history coming up, because it is that time of year again, as we were talking about for Monday. I'll get to that in a moment. So on this date back in 2002, I believe, 2002 here. Yeah. So on this date in 2002, the British American let's see, the British American children's musical computer animated television series Make Way for Naughty premiered on PBS Kids here in the States. So on this date in let's see. Oh, actually, it premiered in the UK, I guess, and then later on NBC and PBS Kids. But on this date in 2002, Make Way for Naughty would premiere on actually Britain programming on this date 20 years ago today. So there we go. There we go with that one. All righty then. I thank everybody for being here. Programming note: this Monday we'll be doing an open mic, open panel night. I'll be sending out lanes. Of course, RJ, I'll send you one. Along with Rick, I'll be sending you one. Monday being Labor Day, of course, we'll have kind of open mic, open panel night where we're talking about whatever. Most likely, of course, what many of us grew up on, around this time every year. We always look forward to and share memories of that and whatever else you can find. Also, 1 week from today, Rick will be joining me as we will be starting our May of 1939 coverage. DC, of course, among the stories we'll be looking at will be the Superman story, Action 13, the first appearance of the Ultra Humanite, among other things. Give more details on that as we get a little closer. I thank everybody for being here. I hope everybody enjoyed the content tonight. And I will see you all back here on Monday. Bye.